Hello, hello, and welcome to Cabo San Lucas. Actually, we're in San Jose del Cabo today. My husband and I are here on retreat, and this is SATYA Live. And every Sunday, we come together to do a spiritual deep dive, to share some spiritual principles and practices that I know will help you on your journey. Wherever you're headed, whatever you're doing, I think that the things I have to share today will be extremely helpful and supportive of you, me, all of us, as we become more centered and more mindful about our life and ourselves and how we manage our energy and our thoughts and our emotions. So welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And today we're celebrating this beautiful weather. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of lights behind me, but there is an ocean back there. And we're all about inspiring minds, healing hearts, transforming lives, and evolving consciousness. And that's what we've been doing down here in San Jose del Cabo with a group of our minister friends. And we've been connecting, going deep, having some fun. And I hope wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're enjoying yourself too. So why don't we start with a little meditation? You can hear the waves behind me. If you will, close your eyes and tune in to the stillness. Become present right where you are. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, other than to simply be here now. Deep breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. And as you relax your body and become still and centered, take another breath and relax just a little bit more. Grounding and going deep. And just paying attention to the inside as well as the outside. And just notice that subtle switch when you're focusing your awareness on the inside and when you're focusing your attention on the outside. And allow everything to be just right. Allow it to be just as it is. And just relax and settle into the depth and the breadth and the width of this moment, the now moment. It truly is the only moment that exists. And this is the point of creation. And so as we calm our minds, just noticing the thoughts as they come and go, and as we settle and relax, we become at that point of zero, where there's nowhere to go, nothing to do, just fully present. Very good. And now let's take one more deep cleansing breath. And as you exhale, open the outer eyes and welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about the head, the heart, and the body. These three centers of intelligence. And we have access to all three all the time. And we may not be aware of this. Many of us have a tendency to rely on one of these centers of intelligence. And here in the West, it's primarily the head center. And so once we realize we also have the intelligence of the heart, there's actually there's neural cells within the heart and the gut. And so this wisdom, this intelligence is something that we can bring our attention to and cultivate. So we're usually identified with one of these centers more than the other. And then another will be just below that one or have access to it. And then there's probably one that you don't use so much. I know for me, I'm very engaged with my heart, my emotions, and my head, my thoughts, but not so much with my body, the intelligence of my body. I kind of just cycle through the head and the heart. But as I've been practicing over the last several years, bringing more awareness into the body and tuning in to this deep primal intelligence, the instincts, the gut knowing, the felt presence of being really engaged and with the body. And this is a very key way of balancing the central nervous system, is by bringing awareness from the head and the heart down into the body. And when all three are in congruence or in alignment, then we have greater access. Because when we're in the head, we tend to analyze, and the people that are dominated by this center, their entire life experience is mostly shaped by their thoughts. There's so much more to that, more to perceiving the world than just through the head. But this is how we're educated, and this is how we're supported to be, really sharp thinkers, and to use our head and to lead with conscious thoughts. And that's all wonderful, but there's greater wisdom and intelligence. So if you're one of those that lead with the head, you may be analytical, and you may have an amazing imagination, and you know how to plan things and get things done. But sometimes the head center types can be overly logical and maybe detached from feelings and emotions. And so stay with me, because a lot of head center types seem to really value this and don't value the emotions, or see them as somehow getting in the way of their critical thinking. When the emotions, knowing how we're feeling, knowing what's important to us, knowing how the connection is between us and the people that are most important to us. This is vitally important, emotional intelligence. And when we can understand our connection with others, when we can have a deeper felt sense of that connection, and how our words and our thoughts and our actions impact others, we learn this through becoming emotionally intelligent. And then we sort of expand that heart center out. And so we consider the greater heart. We consider how what we do and what we think and what we say, and how that affects those around us. And so we might hesitate and do a little self-inquiry before we act, because we're not only considering the logic of something, but we're considering the impacts that we might have if we do this or that, or if we don't do this or that. And so we develop this emotional intelligence using our heart center. And many people that are dominated by this center, their experience is shaped by their feelings. And they're usually very emotionally intelligent and empathetic, and heart-centered people usually really value their connection with other people. Now, this is great, but if you're not using your head and you're just using your heart, and you're only concerned about the other and the connection, then that might negatively impact the way your relationships play out, the way you are able to focus your energy and attention and get things done and use your critical thinking. And so it's good to have awareness of the head and the heart and the body. And so for those that are connected or primarily focused through the heart center, they can get overly focused on image, and they can really get fearful of rejection or abandonment or upsetting someone, or with the idea that somebody doesn't like them. So they tend to feel the full depth of those emotions, and that doesn't always serve. Sometimes, but not all the time. And then as we drop down into body center, the body center folk are the ones that experience life through their senses. Many people are dominated by this center, and they are all of their experiences are shaped by their sensations. They're usually committed and responsible and value truth and honor, but they can be judgmental and inflexible. So we get to deep dive into these three centers today to see how we can possibly, if sorry, there's a plane flying over, possibly if you have access to two of them, let's say you're really good at the emotions in the body, really have a good sense and instinct about how you're feeling, how the others are feeling, if you're in a good place, if you're feeling connected, you might have real access or awareness about your energy and how much to exert, how much to hold on to, but you don't really rely or lean on your head center, your intelligence, your wisdom, then you're missing out. And so we get to develop all three centers so that before we make an important decision, or before we maybe have a task at work, we begin to breathe and call upon, lean into these three centers of intelligence to gain more of a wholeness perspective. Start to consider with all of these centers of intelligence what we might want to do, or how we might want to do it, or how we may better connect with the work that we're doing, or the people we're engaged with, or the plans that we have coming up. So I'd like to maybe do a little experience, a little activation, so you can get an idea, and you can do this for yourself. You can take 5-10 minutes every morning and just guide yourself through these three centers so that you can activate them and have them all on board, so that as you're moving through the world, as you're interacting, as you're going about your work, as you're traveling, whatever it is, you can start to make better informed decisions based on these qualities that you have within you, that some might be dormant. And so we're going to activate them right now. So if you will, close your eyes and let's take a deep breath. And as you breathe in, imagine as the breath comes in, it comes in through your head and up and round, kind of like a wave. And imagine the breath just swirling through the head center. And we'll just focus on the head for now. So as the breath is in the head center, call upon your natural wisdom. I love that term, natural wisdom, because it implies that there's an authentic self, an essential self that has access to deep natural wisdom that's way beyond what we've learned in the years that we've walked on this planet, in this incarnation. There's a greater wisdom. Once we explore this head center, we can see that it's not just the sum total of our thoughts, but we can actually expand into the greater mind, into infinite possibilities and potentialities, natural wisdom from our ancestors. We can, as we explore this in a really deep and mindful way. Just see if something starts to happen within you, that your mind becomes more expanded and you're able to connect more deeply with the wisdom of the ancients, with the wisdom of the divine, and you start to have access to more possibilities and more potentialities than maybe you've considered. And so as we breathe and we clear out the fog and the confusion and the distractions, and we start to really feel, and you can do some self-inquiry here and ask yourself some questions. Like, what am I thinking right now? What can I focus on that is truly important to me? What wisdom is just below the surface that if I'm relaxed and centered and focused enough, I can attract into my field and gain access to this deeper intuition of the mind that allows us to know things without knowing why. We just know something. This is what intuition is. Something occurs to us. We don't really know where it came from, but we absolutely know that it's true. And so expand into that deeper awareness. Very good. And now I want you to drop down into your heart and feel the swirl of energy that accompanies your breath as you breathe into the heart center. And as you breathe into the heart center, the feeling of compassion, acceptance, loving kindness expands. And we begin to feel connected with all human beings. In the head, we're connected to the one mind. In the heart, we're connected to the one heart, the one flow of love that we are, all of us. We're all this constant flow of divine love that is available to us when we turn in that direction. And it really does take us turning our attention in the direction, like almost like seeing through rose-colored glasses. We turn our attention to see through the lens of love, and we become love's presence. And so as we call upon our natural empathy and understanding and compassion and loving kindness, we begin to access wisdom that comes from a deep sense of connection with all beings. And we all share, we all can tune into this higher vibration, this higher frequency of love. I've been watching the pelicans as they've been flying along the shoreline here in Baja, and they all seem to fly in unison. They all seem to veer off at the same time and dive down at the same time. They're tuned in to a greater sense of connection with one another. And I believe that we can do this through the mind and through the heart and through our sense presence, our felt sense perception with feeling one with all physical life. And so let's move on down to the belly center for a moment and feel that swirl of energy moving through the belly center and activating and igniting this body intelligence, the gut intelligence, that deep primal instinct that we have as mammals. We know how to be a mammal. We know how to bond. We know how to procreate. We know how to nourish ourselves. And this is all from this gut center. Our body knows how to be. And sometimes we shut this intelligence down, or we never activate it to the capacity that it can be. And so we don't have that amazing wisdom that the instincts and this ability to manage our energy and to become present, truly present with whatever we're doing, with whomever we're with. And this is all about aligning these three senses of intelligence and calling upon all of these qualities: our natural wisdom, our visioning, our focus of attention and intention, and our thoughtfulness. And then our heart, we call upon our empathy, our understanding, our compassion, and our loving kindness. And then in the belly, we call upon our ability to become grounded and present and really see each other and really be in touch with our energy, move our energy, soothe ourselves when we need to. We can go within with our inner eye and do some clearing and healing based on noticing where there's energy blocks within our body. We can call upon this wisdom. We can call upon our energy to heal ourselves just by our intention and our attention. And so as we start to get in touch with our natural energy, we develop a deeper sense of discernment. We know where to go. We know what to say yes to, what to say no to. We know how to organize our energy. We know when to be big energy, when to be smaller energy, when to be flowing energy, when to be more active energy. And we get a deeper sense that it's all working together. We get to bring ourselves into this central alignment. So we can say, in essence, my mind is clear and focused on what is truly important to me. My heart is open and loving and accepting of what is before me. And my body is strong and grounded and responds with right action. We have the ability to practice this level of mindfulness and bring to our life a more rounded, well thought, well felt through, more energetically appropriate way of being, way of interacting with everything and everyone around us. And so I hope this has been helpful for you. I know it has for me. I can always get a little triggered when I'm traveling and out of my normal surroundings and my elements. And so I have to practice this three-centered breathing, this three-centered activation, so that I can enjoy where I actually am. Because if I'm always in this state of things aren't quite right, I don't have all the things that I'm used to having, or the food isn't exactly the way that I prefer it, or whatever my ego mind and ego heart and ego body intelligence wants to say, it does. It can complain a little bit and sort of cause me to sort of go within, or not go within, but kind of draw back from the full experience that's occurring. And so when I do these practices, it helps me to activate these high qualities of the head: imagination, visioning, and expanded thinking, and thinking outside the box. And it gives me better access to be mentally calm, to loosen the anxiety, and it just dissolves when I can practice this mindfulness practice in the way that I've explained. It gives me a greater sense of being less anxious, less worried, more centered and focused, and more appropriate with the way I think and the way I talk and the way I interact with everyone around me. And then when I'm in my heart center, I call upon that compassion and empathy and connection, and become curious and seeking deeper connection with those around me. And then I drop into my belly, and I develop this deep sense of grounded presence. And so it's sort of this intelligence, this wisdom, this heart-centered wisdom drops down into the body, and then there's a deep sense of all is well, all is peaceful, and I feel better prepared, I feel clearer. And so I hope that that this practice for you helps you as you move through your life, as you go to work and experience all the different personalities. Maybe you can guess, is this person more of a head-centered type, or more of a heart-centered type, or more of a physical body-centered type, more aware of energy. And with each center comes a lot of wisdom, and you can explore each one to gain greater self-awareness, to awaken more fully, and to become self-realized. This way of moving through the world, the way I believe humans are designed to move, with more intelligence, emotional intelligence, and body intelligence. And so I'm so happy that I could share this little balcony spot with you today, and I'd like to share a little prayer with you before we go. So, if you will, let's close our eyes together and come into this place where we know there's only one. There's only one power, one presence, one infinite organizing intelligence that is forever flowing and moving and evolving and growing. And me and you, all of us are contained within this grand overall designing creative energy. And we are on the very leading growing edge of this evolution, of this oneness that is continuously becoming more and more of itself, expressing itself in terms of omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence. And so as we consider ourselves as omniscients, we open up to the divine mind. As we consider ourselves omnipotent, we gain access to the power of love that propels us, that is that very ineffable force for life and for good that is occurring in our life. And as we connect with the omnipresence, we become aware that there's only one. There's only one of us here. And we feel this interdependence, interrelatedness. And we interact with all three centers awake and alive and on board. And we feel into each and every transaction, each and every interaction, each and every conversation, each and everything that we experience in our world. We bring all of us to meet it. We bring all of it center stage and connect heart to heart, mind to mind, body to body. And in this way, we are blessed. We are working together. We're cooperating. We're manifesting. We're becoming more and never less. We're healing. We're becoming more joyful. And for this, we are blessed. I am blessed. So glad you're here today. And if you'd love to connect with me tomorrow, I'm going to be interviewing Linda Frazee on Growing Edge Live. And if you want to support this ministry, if you want to give wings to what we're doing here, you can support us by going to PayPal or Venmo, Satya Center, or our website, satyalive.org. Mwah. Peace and blessings to you here from Cabo, and I'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye.